see if this works. Hi, you guys. Let us know if you can see us. Welcome. Kind of like our second installment, wouldn't you say, of angel stuff? Me and TruthSeekah Arien.
Well, it's about our sixth, but
yeah, all together.
Yeah, in this series,
in
second
this
installment.
particular series,
In
probably.
this month. I would say
month.
this month, but we just entered the new month today, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So let us know in the chat rooms. Oh, you can. All right. Good.
Oh, cool.
Guys,
Yeah.
so if you haven't met TruthSeekah and Arien, here they are. Look at them. Aren't they gorgeous?
That's TruthSeekah. And I'm Arien.
Yeah, she's TruthSeekah, and that's Arien right there with the long dreads. Nice. So you guys, these are my friends from Alabama. For those of you who weren't at our last one, what was that? Was that last week? That was last week. Yeah, we started going into deeper topics around the angels, and today we're going to go deeper into the mysteries about angels, what they can bring. Maybe even talk about some of the myths about angels. I think that's always an interesting topic. But if you guys don't know, we're hosting. We're all three of us are collaborating on this amazing event in Shasta. When is it? Is it the 12th? Is it the 12th through the 15th? Of June. So next month, and oh my God, I didn't tell you guys. So on Sunday night, I was just there with a group, and we were out. Me and the people who were serving, like they're volunteering. There was 5 of us. We pulled up I don't know if I told you, but I had what I call a hammock attack instead of a panic attack. And I bought like 11 hammocks for no good reason, except for they're just great to chill in. But I got them in the middle of winter, so we haven't really been able to use them. So we busted them out on Sunday. And at nightfall, we saw a giant orb come through the landscape of the Valley of Shasta. Wow. And we all saw the same thing. It was very luminescent. It was, flying a little erratically. And the lights were changing from these pale, these very pale pastel colors, like violets and blues and greens. And we're like, it was so nice to have so many people there, because we're like, are you guys seeing that? And then, so we connected. And, we just gave them permission. We're like, hey, space siblings, we're here and we're open for it. And so as the sun went down, we saw at least probably 8 or 9 others coming in. Yeah, I mean, it was so intense. And I was like, thanks you guys for coming, but you're like 6 weeks early because because you guys, this retreat that we're doing is called angelic. What is it? It's ecstasia.
Yeah.
It's angelic contact and divine communion event, and our goal is really to help us feel and sense the presence and to open up our hearts and our minds to the angelic realm specifically. But I knew right away this first one was an angelic vehicle, and because you could just feel the vibe. And it was extraordinary. So much more happened that night, but I'll stop there and give you guys a nice opening. So can you guys share what you guys do? And you guys are both so interesting. So please take your time with this.
Yeah, what do we do?
What do you guys do?
It's hard to say because we do so much. So we do music and podcasts. We talk about angels and aliens, supernatural, spiritual, paranormal, all the topics. So this is totally our jam, is to get in with a group and be in person and be able to have that experience together. Because like you said, when you have it with someone, it's like, did you see that? Because even like, we were going across the bay for something the other day, and there's a big bridge you have to go on. we went up the bridge, and I was looking out the car window because there was this. It was like a mist, but it was a shape. It was like a certain shape, and it wasn't moving. It was just like hovering. And we drove right past it, and it was almost like it was peeking into the car. And so I'm watching it, and he glances over. He said, "Did you see that?" I was like, "Yeah, thank you," because I was like,
I was expecting you to say no, though.
like
It's just me.
I
But it's
wasn't
cool when you
sure.
get confirmation, right? When both of us.
It makes a
Or
difference,
whoever.
right?
Yeah.
It's so important.
No, it does. Because, I mean, people have it's easy to explain your experiences away, and the mind, has a way of doing that. I think it's kind of healthy, though. I mean, I'm a skeptic, so like it's a natural process to try to explain it away. So you want to make sure that you really saw what you saw. We want to be able to say produce, but produce the a genuine encounter, and not have to fake anything or make anything up. And so, as everybody wants, people are tired of just hearing about it, and people want to experience and they want to encounter the real deal. And so, I'm still.
Did you guys lose?
Spiritual encounter moment that we have, and so we know that other people feel the same way. So we get to facilitate that for people.
Yeah, it's such a blessing, right? To be able to do that. It's like I'm always astounded and in awe that we get to do it together. But yeah, I mean, this weekend was just we've seen some amazing things along the way over in my retreat center over in Shasta. But this one was pretty much, I think, next leveled it.
Wow.
Are you guys okay with your feed? It looks like it's kind of bumping off and on. Is it?
We're good. We're good. If you guys can hear us, we can hear you good.
Yeah,
we can hear you. You cut out for a second for when you were speaking, but yeah. So so you guys both do that. Also, if you guys don't know, you both come from a really strong Christian background, right? And I was really curious. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I can't tell if you can hear me because you're frozen. But
Yeah.
I thought it'd be fun for our people to kind of hear more about your journey in going from maybe the standard religious framework of Christianity into the kind of the deeper teachings or the more mystical nature. I know that you guys both encountered and are going deeper even with the nature medicine, which is a real huge missing link, I think, in all of our religions. We kind of attach it to the structure or a building of a church or a temple, as opposed to the earth being the temple or the receptacle of the divine as well. So can you tell us more about kind of your, I guess, spiritual awakening, your more mystical awakening to those truths?
Yeah. So we come out of like dark occultism just as practicing teenagers. We were into the mystical and Satanism and all that kind of stuff as teenagers, and opened up some doors in some realms that we found out was real, and which actually led us to Christ, led us back to the light. Really dark, terrifying experiences, and that was in 2000. And so we kind of got into the church from there. Doing the Christian experience and sharing our story and kind of growing in that. And then our experiences and studies just kind of got a lot deeper over the years. And we started to see Christ in other traditions and other places, other faiths. And eventually it started to make sense that we saw Christ in everything, like he said he was. The scripture says that Christ is in all and through all. So it's just the ability of the seeker, of the Christian, of the mystic.
Oh, darn it.
Circumstances, people,
Okay, wait,
nature.
You cut off right where you said as a mystic, and then it kind of cut off a little bit.
Yeah. being able to gaze at things long enough and see beauty, and which is what Jesus is to us, right? It's what he is to the church. He's the most beautiful. He's the embodiment of beauty. So anywhere you find beauty, you'll find Christ. You'll find that resonance, if you will. So we just began to experience that in places that were a bit unorthodox, but we never left our faith. We never left our foundation, which is where we came from in Christ.
Was it
and
a
it's still
struggle?
so simple,
Yeah.
you know.
Was it a struggle at all for you guys? Because you know, I know a lot of Christians, and I've kind of allied with them for many years. Sometimes at the beginning of their understanding, when they're questioning, you know, this feeling I have when I talk to the angels, like, is this evil? Am I talking to demons? And is it evil if I have encounters with the spirit world, or if my mother came to me and you know? So I'm just wondering, did you guys have any of that chatter in your mind, and how did you deal with that?
Totally. The condition it's conditioning, and the conditioning from the religious people in the church goes very deep. And so once you've been indoctrinated for years into that kind of a culture, and you're taught that these experiences are evil, that everything is demonic, not to question if it could be angelic at all, but that any experience you have must be demonic if it's not Jesus Christ appearing to you as a white man with a brown beard, you know?
Yeah.
So you have to undo all that conditioning, and it's really difficult, especially if you've been in the culture for years, because they've taught you that if you mess up, you're going to hell. Mm-hmm. And hell is where you're tormented and tortured for eternity by the God who is love. So then you just start asking yourself all these questions, and it's like, well, this never made sense anyways. And you realize that it's brainwashing, but it is difficult to get out of it and to undo some of those stigmas that you've believed for so long.
That's what we kind of serve as a bridge for that, because we just kind of unpack how we overcame and are still overcoming, navigating all that years later, because the conditioning goes deep. And there's a lot of, I just know the triggers that I had and I still have. I try to, you know, present how I came out of those with people kind of gently, you know, for people. It really, really helps to do it, you know, you know, be patient with people. I think to kind of help them see Christ in every place, because he's there. You know, Christ is there.
Yeah. I think that's really fascinating, because I know, you know, you said you're kind of at the bridge point between, you know, the old dogma and then what you're experiencing as the truth, or a deeper truth about Christ, and that maybe he doesn't just show up as this white man, as he never did. But, by the way, guys, but still, it's like our perception. Yeah, that's fascinating, because I also find myself as a bridge point, you know, and a lot of times it's people who have left, like, thrown the baby out with the bathwater, like they just left religion altogether because they've experienced it as such bullshit. Because depending on where you're raised, you really start seeing it's mean. It's really mean how we're taught about God and all of these things. So I find there's reparation work on the opposite side. It's also people who never believed in God, period. Because and so, you know, my work, it turns out it seems like it's for people who also just had to leave, or maybe never even came to the table because the table was ugly, and like, get me out of shit. But then it's like, okay, but there's something in the middle here that is for all people to dine from. And what we call it, leave it up to you. Like, the more for me that I discover down the road, the less definable it becomes, and the more, like, I guess, flexible, like you're saying, you see it in everything, like in all traditions, even people who don't officially believe, you still see it, like, animating through them in their good acts, or their kind hearts, or their generosity. And, you know, is it a requirement that we do praise with proclaiming a name? You know, like, what is your guys' thoughts about that? Like, is it good enough to just be a good person to just walk in the spirit of Christ without even being conscious of it. What are your guys' thoughts about that?
I said that's what it is. Like he said, be doers of the word and not hearers only. So we have the, religious majority that would, echo it with their mouth, but their lives don't back it up. And you have vice versa. You have people who don't echo the religious jargon. They don't know Christianese, but their lives back it up.
Yeah.
They are good people. They would, give somebody the last few dollars that they own or take off their shirt for a stranger or something like that. Like, and they really embody the teachings of Christ. And that's what you would call a Christian, one who is an imitator of Christ. And it's like, if he did it, and so all the other stuff is just baggage. For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good, and don't get me wrong, it's good to have structure and orthodoxy and that kind of thing. But yeah, we've counted out too many people, and that's exactly what I don't know. It's just like the religion of Christianity in the West is kind of like the opposite of a lot of what most people at this point believe Jesus stood for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
It's really sad. A lot of Christians, I think they've been taught this way, but a lot of them just look for ways to separate and divide us. Yeah. Like even on our YouTube, we had a little short video that I posted, and somebody was saying, because I had said that I see Christ in all things, and even have 2 scripture references from the Bible to back it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they wanted to argue with me and say, no, Christ is only for God's children, and the ones who are not God's children are this and this, and you cannot find Christ in them, and they're going to hell. And I'm like, I thought we were all God's children. Like, so yeah. People, what's in their heart is going to come out. And if you're looking for ways to divide and conquer people and beat people down, it's going to come out if that's what's in your heart. But to truly read the teachings of Christ and embody him and embody unconditional love, you want everybody to be accepted and brought in and raised higher, to love people where they're at, but also show them where they can go. That's Christ to me, and not the division and the shaming and,
Yeah, he's not turned in any way that would come. And so we're just 2 people that came.
Yeah, I mean, 2 amazing people, and it's a lot, because I didn't really know how deep the culture of the South went as far as these really fixed ideas of what's good and what's not good until, over the years when I started doing work outside of just my little community, but started reaching other audiences across the world, and having a lot of people in my following that come from the South, and talking to them, I didn't really realize like how deep and how deep it was, and how afraid a lot of times they were to come out of the spiritual closet with it saying anything other than I'm only talking to Jesus. Like, you can't have an angel experience, for Pete's sake, because that's the devil's work,
Yeah.
So it's really courageous, I think, what you guys are doing, and speaking out against this stuff isn't easy. I can imagine that it's taken you out of some of the popular circles, if you will, in your communities. Can you share more about kind of some of that?
Yeah, it's just
authentically and openly.
Yeah, it's more. I feel like it's accepted now. Like this is the new normal.
Yeah.
If you're a bigot, if you have hatred in your heart, that's not cool anymore, no matter where you live. So, but there was a time, where we stood for this years ago, and it wasn't popular, and I definitely, there was events that got shut down or threatened to get shut down if I was to perform at them, and churches that they would call, just crazy, just insane stuff that people would ask me to come perform, and they didn't really know like if I put my name on something, the negativity that came with it from the churches, because they said, they early on they were like, he's a Christian that is telling people to eat mushrooms and stuff, and tell them to love Jesus and eat mushrooms and all this kind of stuff. And it's like all these weird, conversations that people would have about me in these small communities and stuff, and it made it really, really hard. But like you said, like, it works the same way with the internet, and the internet, really helped me. So with you finding out what it's like in the South and how, cold-hearted some religious people can be, those same religious people can get online and see how loving a Hindu is. They can see how loving somebody of a different faith or tradition, and maybe even see Christ in them, see God in them, to see them as an image or an expression of themselves. So it's working vice versa. It allowed you to see, this other side, but it allows people like me and other people to see what it's like, where people are more accepting and more open with their faith, and it doesn't have to be so dogmatic. And we represent that, and we do that for believers and unbelievers alike, so that you don't have to be as dogmatic and mean. You don't have to argue even if you disagree. So many hurdles and obstacles that we've had to learn personally that we can try our best to embody just in our lives and expression of what we do and what we say and how we do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating. It's such a broad topic, and I after I had my first big angel experience, that's when I really started becoming more of a. I started leaning in more to, first of all, try and understand what happened and why it happened to someone who's, by all accounts, pretty much a heathen, and by other people's definitions. So, it took me a while to really kind of unpack some of that. Oh, it also took me a while to catch up on, why is it that I get so much hate only from Christians? Like, it's not Satanists.
That's what we get too.
Yeah, it's a trip. I mean, I didn't know. I just thought like it should be the atheists or
The Satanists
the real science people or something, but no, it's pretty much that.
Yeah.
So it's like a problematic culture on so many levels, right? It's like so not Jesus. So I'm always inspired by people like you guys who are still like so devout in your faith and you're speaking forwardly, right, about Jesus and about Christ and about those things, and also at the same time speaking actively against some of the wrong, some of the stuff that's wrong, because you speak the language. That's what I love about you. You're throwing out Bible quotes here and there, and it's like I love that. Fight fire with fire, right?
Yeah. No, you can't let them take away the beautiful experiences that you've had too. And that's what, when people they just leave religion. It's like, hold on, you can't. It's hard to look at the past and find something good, sometimes when other people have muddied the water for you. You just kind of look at the whole thing as being brainwashed, or but you got to look as, hey, they got a lot of good that they're doing. Like, you got to try to look on the bright side, and we try to do that for the things we speak against as well.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good that a lot of churches are doing, and a lot of people. We just try to hopefully just hold up a mirror, so people could see what they're doing, if they're doing harm to people and hurting people and stuff like that, which a lot of them are, and most of them don't care. But
so I mean, based on so you guys like started loving up on nature, and that really is like, we're going to be outside for our retreat. We're going to be outside doing prayer and stuff. But like, tell me, like, in a way, so first of all, let's talk about some of the stuff we're going to do over there. Okay. And I mean, we have a list of things we want to get done. But tell me, like, what is it for you that makes this kind of connection with people so important? And in a way, how does it rewrite the script of what maybe we were raised to think what Christianity is versus what the mystical aspect of it, what the underlying thing is. So what are your thoughts around that?
Well, one thing for me is it's so real. We came from, like you said, a really dark experiential faith, I guess you could call it. Like, we were into really dark things, but those things came with experiences.
Yeah.
And so when we came to the Christian faith, we had equally amazing experiences in the light with spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people, even in the church, haven't really experienced what it's like to feel the spirit. Like, they go and they sit on the pew and they read the word, and that's their version of devout faith, is to go to church, attend church, read the Bible, go to Bible study, maybe at someone's house.
Mm-hmm.
But for me to bring in, we bring a lot of tools with us too, right? We like to use cacao, which is a plant medicine, and it just helps uplift and open your heart. So if you have any junk you need to get out, it just helps you be really grounded and be able to let go of things, maybe things you're holding on to. And then we've gotten into doing sacred sound immersion, which it is a little different than just a sound bath. So we start out with our singing bowls and start kind of with the lower tones, and then we elevate it up higher, and then we add in other instruments. So there is a part of it where it gets really intense and there's a lot of sounds going on. But those frequencies and vibrations shake things up inside of us, you know. For me, it comes from a place of receiving healing and wanting other people to receive healing. Because I had so much trauma stuck in my body at one point that I didn't even realize how much it was affecting my life. And I had a new Christ experience where he came in and healed me of these things, and I can't even put it into words, but showed me where all this stuff was stuck and stored, and that frequency and the breath. And, you know, plants also carry frequency, that these things are all tools to help us to rattle and shake this broken stuff loose so that we can get it out. And so that, for me, it comes from a place of receiving healing and wanting to be able to hold other people's hand and guide them to that place.
Yeah, to the real place, right?
Yeah.
To the experience of it, because once you have the experience, no one can take it away from you.
Yeah. So then it doesn't matter, you know, if the church next door calls you a pagan or a tree worshiper, or tells you need to find Christ because what you have is not Christ. Like, it doesn't matter what they say, because I know, and no one will ever take it away from me. And I want that for everybody, you know.
Knowing is half the battle.
Oh yeah, I know. Me too. That's why I got the dang place. I'm like, look, you guys, I'm tired of talking about it. Come and experience it for yourself, because it does matter, right? When we open up the portal, when we kind of commune together, we as a group, we open it up, and it just opens up the road. But that embodied feeling, and I think sound helps us too, you know. And I love that you guys are doing a concert too. Well, we got some hip hop action coming on, and some of your guys' other great hits.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. But yeah, it's about communion, and that's why we kind of named it as contact and communion, like experiential stuff. So it'll be fun to do that with you guys. And also, I'm especially excited about our photo workshop, our smartphone photos.
Yeah, I may be a bit rusty though. Like, I haven't done it in so long.
You better practice.
But it's like, it works. I do need to practice, but I don't. I don't need to practice. It just, I know how to do it. I'm more of like, you know, I think, you know, teaching people how to see the angelic realms, if they want to. I want to a lot of times. It's what led me into it. But I think that the bigger reason is to show them that it's there in the physical, and to teach them, like, if you can see this with your phone, can you see this with the naked eye?
Yes.
I will admit, you know, it can be a lot harder depending on what type of angel you're looking for, you know, and just to see what you see. But I think when you see it with the other divinatory tools, such as a smartphone, then it can open up your eyes that they're there, and then you lean into it a little bit more with your eyes open, without tools. So it's not to only lean into tools or a cell phone, or we got so many tools, but it's just to use them, and then just to open your awareness
Yeah.
that they are there and they hear you, they're communicating, they're doing so much work, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it really, I mean, and I've been doing this stuff for a long time and been teaching people how to do it. But I'm telling you, when I started capturing the photos, I mean, that it just adds a whole new layer of, I guess, witnessing, testimony, validation, especially when you do it in the way that, you know, that we do it, which is, you know, through the prayer, and you ask and
Yep.
start taking photos and during broad daylight. And it's like, what the hell has this been going on the entire time? And has our smartphone technology just caught up with it? But it's amazing. It's really amazing. I'm getting chills just thinking about it, and just thinking about the possibilities of what will happen when we all kind of intentionally do that. Because I just saw what happened on Sunday, just a couple days ago. And I was like, you guys, I guess you guys got my email, but it's for next month.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in advance, but next month, come again, please. Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. We're gonna learn to film them and take pictures and see if we can develop some of those. And you've seen some of the footage that we've put out online, and then you've been able to take your own pictures and videos too. And just so, like, you know, I've shared a couple videos online, and then just kind of teaching people to process, and then just get amazing, you know, emails from people who send me their footage and their videos of just like their minds are blown, and they're taking it to the next level and getting, you know, nice equipment and stuff like that. And they're sending me really cool stuff that they're getting. So it's so cool what it does. But like you said, the validation, like, man, and that's what it always did for me. Was early on, it just like heaven is a real place.
Yes.
Like heaven is it's not a place that you go when you die. Like heaven is a place that exists beyond the sky, and it's all around us, and it's everywhere. We're interacting with it, and the angels that we've read about in all traditions, including the Bible, they're interacting with us all day, every day. And what that does for somebody's faith, it is really validating.
I mean, that's it. It's just like, okay, when they're talking about the firmament, it's like, oh, it's all just right here, guys. Like, I just didn't know how literal it all was. It's not this, let me meditate on it. You can take pictures of the layers of the heavens.
Yeah.
And it's, again, astounding. And I cannot wait till we get together and break it down, because I know there's so much that we'll learn through talking. And I love your teachings around the Bible and all the associations and all the secret codes are all just right there for us to pursue, right?
Yeah. When you're ready, the teachers will appear, and you'll get it. You know, you get it when you're supposed to. And I think that, most people are ready. You know, I think they know in their heart of hearts if they're supposed to come, if they're supposed to be there, if they're ready to go deeper.
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing with, like, we have to get the word out there that we're doing it, that we're putting on this retreat. But we got to put the word out there. But I don't think we have to oversell anything. We just let people know what we're doing, and they're like, man, I want to be there.
Yeah, for sure.
It's going to be so much fun. And
people feel it. They feel the pull. That's often what I notice, is that people know when it's time, and sometimes they'll talk themselves out of it. But for the most part, I feel like, it's a knowing, it's a sense. And I think the better that we are at trusting these things, not just with like retreats, but just in life, learning how to listen in a different way, to listen to the peculiar nudges that come from our spirit team, from our guidance. if we slow down enough and take a moment and listen and reflect, wow, we can get taken into very extraordinary roads, can't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you guys both like have your spiritual awakenings? I know it's not like a one-time thing. It's just like, kind of will keep going. Were your guys' around the same time? Did one of you kind of have the activation before the other? Or was it kind of like a slow unraveling process? Some of mine have been so cataclysmically, some of mine have been so cataclysmically loud that it was a notable event that I had to kind of communicate to my family, like, hey, this is something. I'm actually going through one of those periods right now, but here's something going on. You should know. Okay, so da 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 da, da, right? But did you guys have any of those moments along your journey together?
Yeah, it's been both. I think there have been those times, like you said, that are events that can be noted, and then in between is a slow process of integrating and unraveling and growing and dying and being reborn. But yeah, he probably is always a step ahead of me as far as the awakening process. I'm pretty stubborn. So up until my last big event, it just takes longer to convince me of things. I'm pretty bullheaded sometimes, and yeah. But thank God he never gives up on us.
Yeah, there's been like there's staples. I think we have staples in our lives that we can look back at, certain dates, days, breakthroughs that happen, and thank God, like these retreats for many people are breakthroughs. They were I mean, I want to say they're breakthroughs for us for sure, but I mean, her big breakthrough that she had a year ago was at one of our retreats that she wasn't even like expecting. She just she came and she was open, but she was broken inside, and she'd been trying to cover it up and doing a pretty good job of it, and then it just where it was time to get real and be in that atmosphere where people are getting touched and being vulnerable. Just being in the atmosphere, it's extremely powerful. So that was a huge staple for her, I know, and for us, not just her. It was for us. It was for our family, for our marriage, our ministry, everything, career, everything. It was just a staple. And
wow. So you're talking about the actual event that happened for Arien. Wow. Yeah. Wow. So it really just kind of so let's talk about this swoon, because when the spirit comes upon us, and I do want to make this very palpable and tangible for you guys, because I think a lot of spiritual leaders might dance around this topic as if it's just like this fleeting thing, but there is a very real swoon that can come over us. It's not just a Christian thing. This is an ancient experience, a mystical experience. Direct mystical union and communion is real. Yes. And it can come upon us when we least expect it. One of my events was when the bird divided into three, for instance. That was an aspect of this communion. But so Arien, you weren't expecting it, I suppose. And I love how you said TruthSeekah is like this vulnerable. It was like this vulnerable moment. Maybe let's break it down for our peeps. Like what so they can, because I bet a lot of people here, or people who will see this, have also had their own. But what would you say when you reflect, Arien, are the pre-indicators or the things that you felt led into that moment? If you don't mind sharing.
I don't mind at all. So I had a sexual abuse when I was a teenager by a boyfriend that I had, and I still even have a problem using the word rape, right? Like, I carried it with me as if it was my fault for so long, my whole life, really. Even going to therapy about it, and they confirmed with me, it's not your fault. I still carried it. It still like sticks in my mouth, that word. Like it's hard to use that word, but so anyway, I thought that I had processed that trauma, but really I just buried it, and it became evident. There was an event that I might have crossed paths with this person and I had a full-blown panic attack. So it was evident I was not healed of it, but I just kept, burying the trauma. Also, I had lost somebody very close to me. She was my mentor for 15 years. She was like a sister to me, but really best friend, my hero. She was the owner of the place where I worked, where we did physical therapy for special needs children. Her name was Christy. And, she wasn't my mom, but I looked up to her like my mom. Like, I want to be like you when I grow up. Like, you are the most angelic, giving, kind, loving, selfless person. And I watched her battle cancer for years, and it just completely destroyed her physical body. Never her spirit though. And just the process of that, and I begged God to heal her, and because if anybody deserved a miracle on earth, she did, right? And so I carried a lot of grief from that, and anger at God, honestly, because I felt like she deserved to be healed and she wasn't. So I just had this grief, this anger, this trauma all pent up inside of me. And it kind of just got to a boiling point where all I did when I didn't have something to do really is sit on the couch and scroll on TikTok, do something to try to like escape my thoughts and escape my body. I just wanted to be immersed in something else so I didn't have to think about anything. And that caused me and him to become more. I was content with him doing his own thing and me doing my own thing, and we kind of started to go in that direction. And so many people act like it's normal too for a husband and wife team to just, and it's okay to each have your own thing, but not only have your own things. Like, you have to have things together too. And so we started on that path. I was not doing well at all.
Oh, darn. Your feet got a little slow. So you ended with you weren't doing well.
So I came into the retreat just with an attitude of servanthood, that I wanted to go and help other people, that I would prepare the cacao ceremony and just be there, to pray and worship. And just when I got there, I just felt like, God, if it kills me, I have to do something, because I was also very physically ill at the time. I had a lot of issues with my lungs and my breathing, and we did a breathwork portion of it too. So during the breathwork portion, I really had trouble getting my breath and doing the techniques. But I just told God, like, even if it kills me, I have to do this. I have to have something changed, because I can't keep going like this. I'm going to physically die, because my health is declining. My spirit is just so broken. And I really pushed in. We drank the cacao. We played some worship music. And I really pushed hard on the breath work, to the point where something broke inside of me. And it was literally like a dam that had been blocked up for years just burst. And Christ met me there. He wasn't a man. He was more like a light or an energy, but I recognized him. I'd had experiences with him before. And so he met me there, and it was almost like watching a screen where he unveiled this process of the healing that was happening to me, to my body, and the connection between body and spirit, that it matters, and our physical body protects us and you know, basically like creates a scar tissue around our trauma. So you don't want to let it get too buried. You want to process it. You want to get it out so that that flow, that natural divine flow, can keep happening. And so he restored that to me. And even then it was like, okay, now the things are going to get ugly. Like, you've been blocked up for decades. Things are going to get ugly. You're going to be angry. You're going to feel intense emotion on both sides, until all of this stuff gets out of you and you get regulated. And in the church, they say, you know, to be born again. And that usually means when you say a prayer and invite Jesus into your heart. That was my born again. Like, I came out of that experience a completely different person. I felt like a newborn baby. Like, colors look different, sound.
I can't hear it either. Can you guys hear? No. God.
Yeah.
Oh darn. Oh, are you there?
Yeah.
Can you hear us? Okay.
Yeah.
So you cut off at colors were different and the sound. Everything.
Yeah.
Everything
It was just. Yeah, everything was more intense because I didn't have that lens, that broken lens anymore. It was gone, you know?
Yes.
So, and that's what really drives me to want to do these experiences and participate with the sound healing. And I just want other people who want to feel that and have that experience, I want it to be available to them, you know, because I didn't even know it was available to me, and it was.
Exactly. That's why that's the exact reason why when the angels came to me and I was reborn. I was reborn. My friend actually, she trained with me. She's a therapist, and this is like, 25 years ago, or like a long time ago. We trained 25 years ago, but we were talking maybe 15 years ago, and I started talking to her right after my first miracle with the angels, and my heart had it, swelled to a different place, and I couldn't stop talking about it, like, it just encouraging her to just love up on some spirit kind of thing. And she's like, "You sound like a born again." And I was like, "Yeah, I think I am, but in a different way." It's kind of like
You need to
that.
find a church.
You need to find a church. I'm like, oh God.
You find a
Yeah.
good church home.
Yeah, exactly. But that's really amazing, Arien. Yeah, it's really amazing.
Yeah, it was. I'm so grateful for that experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many other people too, man. Like, it was a really big deal for us, but like, it's so easy to like overshadow what other people share about their experience, because it was like, this was super monumental for us hosting it or whatever. But the other people whose lives were like super radically changed too, man. It was just it's so awesome just to, how simple it was to host that and to put that on. And because we didn't do anything, we just helped facilitate it, and God knows whatever each one of us needs and kind of meets us where we are. And it's just so amazing. Yeah.
It's like if we just get out of the way, if we just,
Yeah.
in a way, surrender, come to the table broken like a child, just like not knowing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a scripture that it talks about several times in the Bible where it says that he, like, after like a deer thirsts after water, that my soul thirsts after God. And it says that he restoreth my soul. So that idea of like our souls being restored, maybe there's things in the world that fragment our soul, that takes away pieces of our soul. Maybe pieces of our soul, we give it away. The scripture talks about, will a man lose his soul? Will he exchange his soul for things? And maybe we live life and we do that. But there comes these points in time, which we're talking about, are these reference points that I feel like God
come on. Oh, God. We needed. Okay, we lost you. You said okay, so we lost you at where reference points were God, something about
Yeah.
God. Okay.
Yeah. Comes in and restores our soul and gives us pieces of our soul back to us. Where
Yeah.
we protect it because we find out that there's things, that there's people, that there's beings that want to take our soul from us. So we need to protect our soul. We need to protect and guard our hearts. And but it's just these beautiful encounters and these modalities, if you will, these moments where we found out there's ways to restore your soul back to your body. And it's a big deal.
Yeah, that's incredible. Thank you for that. I love it when you start throwing in the scripture, man. Just lights me up. Every once in a while when I'm doing channeling work for my communities, I'm guided to the Bible, and I always get so excited that I get to quote some scripture, but I'm always laughing at myself the entire time, as well as my community laughing along with me. And Jesus said, like, I just feel so weird saying it, but it's so fun. And it's always like so on point though. Like the teachings that come through, always like the Bible is so incredible. It's so incredible.
Yeah. It depends on who's reading it.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah.
If you're reading it, it's going to be extraordinary.
It is extraordinary.
Yeah.
It's really extraordinary. But I work with the Bible in the same way I work with a lot of even children's books. I'll do the same thing. Is I'll just kind of hold it and then connect with spirit and then open up to a page. But I find that it also works with children's books. Like you can find the word in in Time magazine. It's there. Yeah. But the Bible itself is wow. We're so blessed to be able to have some of these ancient texts, even though with that specific one, it's been rewritten and redacted and all that stuff. But still, when you get to the ancient scripts and to the ancient writings, it's really freaking amazing what was preserved for us.
Yeah.
And the Hindi scripts too. And there's just a lot of really cool, amazing work out there.
Oh yeah. I love all of them.
Yeah.
I love all of them. Yeah. I love all words. That's what it is though. It's words. It's funny that it's really that simple. It talks about, even in the Bible, it talks about like Christ is the Word made flesh. There's literal words that he comes to you through the spoken word and the written word, and such profound power and magic and spirit within these stories, and the stories that we weave, and the stories that we tell ourselves, and the stories we tell others. But like you said, you find a way to connect with the divine through any word. Like I said, Time magazine, the Bible. And so once you find out, it's like, hold on, I think I found the secret here. It's not any one of these, it's all of them. And that was always the secret.
Yeah, it's everywhere, right? Because before the books were written, how did Jesus do it then? Or like, how did, before anything was written, there was always those walking in union with spirit, walking, preaching the word and the good news in whatever way they, that it came, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we're going to experience that at Shasta. We're going to experience that in nature. We're always experiencing it. And you have something to take with you.
We are. But what do you think it takes? Because I'm trying to crack this nut always for my communities. Okay, what can I present to them that's going to create the right kind of vessel or container so that it just, it's more, and my books are like that. Everything I do is like secretly designed to try and support people into coming into that river and coming into that flow. But it takes us a certain, I think what do you think the top 3 maybe the top 2 characteristics are? I'll throw one out of someone who might be able, okay, first of all, I would say An openness, a curiosity, or at least a humbleness. Like we're sometimes it helps if they're a little dismembered, a little bit, a little traumatized, a little, you have to dig deeper.
That's her.
They have to
Help
dig
her
deeper.
have an experience.
Yeah, right. To help folks like her or like me.
Yeah.
I mean, mine had to come
For
through.
real. Yeah,
Mine
me too.
had to come through so big and so profound. Otherwise, like I just needed a spirit to smack me around to get my attention, right? But
Yeah.
because I at the time, of course, like burning the candle at both ends, I was so miserable and all of that. But what do you think? I'll say curiosity for one.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah. I think you hit. There's a big piece of what you hit is the humility. It's we'll call it brokenness.
Okay,
Brokenness.
I didn't want to like be so bold, but pretty much it
Yeah,
helps.
you got to come broken, man. Like if you got it all figured out, I mean, God could still meet you there. It's not as when you got it all figured out, God has the ability to humble you, right? So you have that. But if you can come with the humility first, I think you make it a lot easier, and childlike awe and wonder, which is what you said, curiosity.
Yes.
And then what I'll raise you one, and I'll put gratitude on that as well. If we can
Ooh,
come together, which is what we're gonna do at the retreat. We're going to dive. We're gonna swim in gratitude. Is what we're gonna do. And if you can do that, you set the groundwork for the supernatural. You set the groundwork for you to be for the veil to be pushed aside just for a moment. Whether it's a feeling, whether it's your soul being restored, this is something that you can practice in your day to day. And so, what would you, if there was a third piece of that elixir, what would you?
the secret elixir.
I think desperation, like a hunger and a thirst that can only be like filled by that kind of experience and that kind of communion.
Good.
So I think my word would be desperation.
Desperation. So I was trying to like water it down a little bit, but just like okay, brokenness, desperation. Thank you.
Yeah, it's like that's the end of the rope stuff. But the funny thing is though, is like we have these monumental moments where we feel like God met us at these places of brokenness and these places of desperation. But then we have these moments and God touches us and we see the angelic and we're doing better. But the key is to still remain and remember that I still need God today as much as I needed him a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Like, don't fool yourself.
Thank you.
They're thinking that you got it together, and it's like, I still. And if you would say that in a prayer, if you say that in a memory, I still need you just as much as today as I needed you to show up then. I still need it today. I'm not fooling myself. I'm not drinking my own Kool-Aid, but I still need you. And kind of, if you can maintain that heart space,
Yes.
you're good.
I know it's making me cry just thinking about it, but it's so true. It's
For
so
sure.
true. It's just
But like I'm better now. I'm not on, I'm not drinking. I'm not on drugs. Everything's good. It's like, hold on. Just remember, stir up the energy and just say thank you, man. Say thank you.
Thank you. And there's just, oh God, there's so much. I could say around that, but it's so
We're gonna
true.
do it. We can say all we want, but we're gonna do it when we're together for sure.
We're about to pop off in June, you guys, for real. The love is already flowing. The honesty, right? And that's why I love you guys, because you're also just stripped down, not trying to be something, right? Just authentic, just lovers of the spirit, and but also have that playful, curious nature too. Like because we want to hear from each other, we want to hear about each other's experiences, and we want to share these things with our people in a way to invite them to this table that's so delicious. It's so delicious. It just, for me, it's just more astoundingly delicious the further down this particular rabbit hole I go. And just as beautiful it is, it also is in equal measure sometimes treacherous. Still treacherous, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that part doesn't go away. Doesn't go away. But can I get a witness on that one, guys?
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Definitely.
Jesus on that. Can we praise Jesus on that? Yes. Yes. But
if anybody knew, he knew. It's almost like he's the only one who knew and who knows, right?
Yeah.
So start learning different parts of his story and his life that were like, man, I feel you even more now. You know, these parts. I see Jesus hanging on the cross and beaten and forsaken by everyone, and he's like, man, I'm doing this so that the unthinking majority don't have to. I'm doing this for you, and he calls us to do the same for others, though. You know, we do the same thing. We get beaten and bruised and beat up by the people we love, and we lay down our lives for others, and they'll gladly take it from you too. And but we gladly lay it down. You know, this is what we're here for. I
That's
say
what we're
that,
here for.
but yeah, we're learning.
Yeah. We're learning. We're learning. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Well, I'm excited about Shasta. You guys, you can go check it out on my website if you want, CorinGrillo.com/Extasia, EXTASIA. I love that name, by the way. Extasia. And then TruthSeekers. If there's any, we have 2 different payment portals. So if there's anybody here from TruthSeekers community, go check out his website too. Or you guys' website?
Yeah.
What is
Seer.school. We've made it easy for everybody. Seer.school. If they go to www.seer.school, that's our community. It's our online hub. And they can get tickets there, Seer.school. And they can check out our community, videos, meditations, all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you guys are digging the vibes, the medicine we're cooking up, you know, both figuratively and literally. We will have medicine. We talked about the cacao ceremony. People can add on an extra ceremony day if they want to be hosted in ceremony with us and the great sacred master and sacrament of psilocybin. We're going to have a ceremony day on as an add-on day if you want, but please just check it out. And if you're feeling it, we are extraordinarily powerful as humans. And I mean this in not an arrogant way, but when we gather in the right spirit, can really create a cataclysmic change in our homes, in our communities, and in the ethers, in social media. I think a lot of us are being asked to fortify ourselves in new and different ways. We're being asked to stand strongly, to stand firmly in who we are and what we came here to do, whether you know it consciously or not. You know you're here. We are all here for something. I used to think I did not have a purpose. This is why I wanted to die every single day for the first several decades. And if you're one of those people who think you cannot make an impact, you're wrong. You can make an impact. And so many of us are being called closer to the table to be the earth shakers, the earthquakers, the earth movers here, because now is an extraordinary time on the planet for us all to step up to the table, but we need to gather around with other heads. We need to get inspired by each other, to share our hearts, to strip it down, to get, what do I want to say, tender-hearted, just more tender, so we can hear the voice, so we can strip away the past and we can move forward into who knows what's possible for us all in the future if we all catch the river. If we all catch the river, stay in our lanes, and commit to the work that we came here to do uniquely and support each other all through it. Right? Am I wrong? Tell me if I'm wrong, guys. Am I wrong?
You're right on. Right on.
All right. So hopefully we'll see you guys in June.
Right.
No, I'm not going to see you two.
Yep.
I'm still gonna, wrestle you, pummel you, do whatever I can. Okay. And that goes for whoever comes to who wants a little cruising for a bruising in a good way. It's full of love. All right. Well, thanks for hanging
Yep,
with.
yep, yep. Big hugs.
Yes, right. God, long time coming. All right, my siblings. It's so good to see you guys, and we'll see you
Love
soon.
you.
Yeah.
All
Bye.
right, peace, everybody.
Mwah, mwah. We love you.
With that breathe, that's good. Oh, it's